and there's three of them. And the first one is like customer lifetime value. And that's not over 10 years, right? That's where Silicon Valley and the traditional venture capital firms, that's where they've kind of screwed everybody up in marketing analytics, is they talk about customer lifetime value over a 5 or a 10-year period. I promise nobody in our industry, even the biggest PE shops, have anywhere near the private equity owned platforms. They have nowhere near the level of frequency or client retention to properly and accurately measure a customer lifetime value over 5 years. You have to look at your business, what your customer lifetime value and retention frequency is every single month. You have to break that down into what are they worth when I get them? I'm going to break to the whiteboard here in a second. What are they worth when I get them? And then how often do they come back? And the reason that's important is because that's how you build your budget. You have to know what that value is off of the truck rolls, because you only have to pay once to get the customer. Your fulfillment systems and your sales system velocity and your revenue installation productivity directly correlates to that frequency and that retention. And so I'm going to share my document camera here real quick so that you guys can walk through this with me. But let me make sure. Let's see, move this over here. So you guys see me here. So we got lifetime value, right? Let me pull that down, which turns into a monthly metric. You've got to have that measured monthly. And not only is lifetime value important from the perspective of how much do they generate when they get in as new, you got to know how much they generate as an existing customer. And so lifetime value is what the first metric we're going to start at and talk through so that you guys can properly plan your budget. And I'm going to break this back here in a sec off the whiteboard into our budget tool so you see why and how that matters. And so that's a lifetime value monthly. The second most important metric as you look at your year is what's the revenue per field employee and or support cost employee. And so you got to know what the revenue is as a macro, with the way venture capital and private equity works in our space. You got to know what these metrics are, revenue per field employee and support cost employee, because it actually matters. So I'm going to put the whiteboard away for a sec. You guys can make those bullets and write down those notes because it's going to apply. It's going to apply to the budget here in a second. You got to know why does revenue per field employee matter? Anybody raise your hand if you know the answer. And if it's a platform partner, obviously we've covered it extensively. So let some outside guesses before I call you. Why